Hello everyone and welcome to Dr. Dad Talk Show. I'm your host Indubala and today I would like to welcome to Dr. Vibin KV, pediatrician. Welcome to our show, sir.
Thank you.
Tell me about yourself, sir.
So I am Dr. Vibin KV. I am a consultant pediatrician and a pediatric intensivist. I work at BLK Max Super Speciality Hospital, and that is at near Rajendra Place, New Delhi. I also run the pediatric unit at Dios Hospital in Safdarjung Enclave.
Okay, it's thank you so much for being here in our show.
My pleasure. Yes.
Sir, nowadays parents are very much curious about their kids' health issues. So this episode is related to that only. So shall we start? Okay. First question from the audience is, how can parents strike a balance between ensuring their child's nutrition and dealing with the allure of junk food in today's environment?
So junk food is actually becoming a huge problem as far as kids' nutrition is concerned. As parents, it's a difficult task to maintain that the child prefers a nutritious food when compared to junk food. So the better way is to mainly address the same issue with the child and communicate with the child, talk to the child and talk to him or her about the importance of nutritious food.
Okay.
And as far as the junk food is concerned, we cannot totally take the junk food off the list of the child for the child, but having said that, we need to give everything in moderation.
Okay.
In the sense that even most of the schools also have specific days that is being allotted for the junk food as such. So once a week allowing the child to get access to junk food is quite okay. But we need to repeatedly reinforce the fact that the child should be more focused on taking nutritious food and what are the health benefits that a child can have by having nutritious food and the problems with the junk food. So it is very easy to say, but we need to kind of strike a balance. The parents have to strike a balance between these two aspects.
Okay, this is a very big issue from parents, sir.
Very true, very true.
How can you manage? आपके पास भी काफी parents आते होंगे इन्हीं issues को लेके तो.
So junk food जब उसके बारे में parents आके बोलते हैं कि ये हमेशा they only want junk food, like chips ही खाती है या burgers ही खाती है, pizza ही खाती है.
That's right.
So in a funny way I tell them that बच्चा थोड़ी बाहर जाके खरीद के खाता है.
Exactly.
So आप घर के अंदर लेके आते हो. If the child has access to all this junk food, then obviously child will want to have it. तो ये सारी चीज़ें घर के अंदर ही होनी चाहिए. In parents should always make it a practice to make sure the junk food does not come into the house.
Okay.
So if the child does not have an access, they will never want to take it.
Right.
जब स्कूल में जाने के बाद जब होता है या बाहर जाने के बाद जब होता है वो that has to be controlled at the parents end. It's a difficult task, but definitely it's doable. Yes.
Yes, sir. Okay. Can you share insights of fostering healthy eating habits in children and ways to make nutrition foods appealing to them?
So that is a very important thing. Food, nutritious, हम सब जानते हैं कि nutritious food is very healthy for the child, but trying to make it more interesting for the child is a Herculean task for me to say.
Yes.
The reason being कई सारे न्यूट्रिशियस फूड इतना टेस्टी नहीं होती, इतनी अपीलिंग नहीं होती बच्चों के लिए.
Yes, sir.
There are लॉट ऑफ वेज ऑफ डूइंग, स्पेशली इन टॉडलर एज ग्रुप. ये सारी चीज़ें तंग करता है. व्हेन द चाइल्ड इज बिगर it's not a relatively bigger problem. But when a child is in the toddler age group or early school going age group, when such a situation occurs, it's always advisable to make the food more creative. Feed the child in plates which are more colorful. Plates हो गया, glasses या cups हो गए which the child uses. It has to be colorful. Maybe can be of a favorite cartoon which the child likes. In fact, I also tell the parents that आप बच्चे के साथ जाओ, shopping जाओ उसको जो प्लेट अच्छा लगे, जो कप्स अच्छा लगे, यू यूज दैट एंड दैट लेट दैट बी हर और हिज ओन वेसल यूटेंसिल विच ही कैन यूज एंड दे कैन ईट इन दैट. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस, ऑल जब खाना बनाते हैं, द चाइल्ड शुड बी एक्टिवली इन्वॉल्व इन प्रिपेयरिंग द फूड. ऑल्सो एक तरह का मेनू जो बनता है बच्चे के लिए, so the child should be asked what kind of food you want and what do you like to have. So you allow you join with the child to prepare the food.
Right.
So the child also feels responsible that ये मैंने बनाया, मेरा खाना है, मुझे ही खाना पड़ेगा.
Right, right.
So those are the kind of things which we can try at home. टाइम देना बहुत ज़रूरी होता है बच्चों के लिए, आई मीन बच्चों के साथ इस मामले में. सो इट्स दिस एंड ऑल्सो वाइल प्रिपेयरिंग द फूड, लाइक आई हैव ऑल्सो हैड फीडबैक्स फ्रॉम पेरेंट्स हु हैव एक्टिवली दे मेक गुड शेप्स ऑफ फूड्स, जैसे कि ट्रायंगुलर शेप हो गया, सर्कल शेप हो गया, ये सब जो स्कूल में सिखाते हैं वही फूड के साथ मिक्स करते हैं. सो वो काफी इंटरेस्टिंग हो जाता है बच्चों में. सो दोस आर द वेज व्हिच वी कैन ट्राई.
सैंडविच वगैरह बनाते हैं तो उसके ऊपर स्माइली
लगा दिया, करेक्ट, वो सारी चीजें, कार्टून का भी शेप बना दिया, डायनासोर का बना दिया, तो वो सारी चीजें दोस आर क्वाइट गुड फॉर द चाइल्ड.
ओके सर, move to next one. In what ways does excessive screen time impact a child's physical and mental well-being, and how can parents mitigate these effects?
Screen time is one of the difficult things that most parents are facing, especially during the COVID time. Screen time का impact जो है हम लोग ने सब ने face किया हुआ है, especially बच्चों के साथ, because children were totally glued to the screen.
Yes sir.
May it be laptops, may it be TVs, or may it be mobile phones. Even schooling सब कुछ उसी के through हो रहा था. So there is a lot of impact that has happened. So it is proven beyond doubt that the screen time is harmful for the child, and it affects both physical and mental aspect of the child. Physical में क्या होता है कि children end up having a sedentary life. Obesity का chance, obesity has the risk of obesity has increased significantly for the children who are glued to screen or who have a lot of screen time, and there is sleeplessness, lot of anxiety, lot of behavior issues have been associated with this screen time. Cognition जैसे या social interaction जो है बच्चों में कम हुआ है, especially during the COVID times. Maybe these can be the reasons why even the language developments have slowed down in children. So we have seen lot of kids जो पहले 2 साल से पहले छोटे उम्र में बच्चे जब बोलने लगते थे, कोविड टाइम के बाद जो भी बच्चे इस उम्र के आसपास आते थे, they all started speaking very late, क्योंकि उनको एक्सपोजर नहीं होता था.
Right sir.
So the screen का only problem is like you only have one way conversation. Whatever comes in the screen, the child listens. Child doesn't have an opportunity to talk back. So the language and the communication skills have significantly become bad. So the recommendations as far as the Indian pediatrics are concerned or the WHO is concerned, the screen time is very clear that less than 2 years there should be absolutely no screen exposure for the child.
Okay.
Beyond 2 years, 2 to 5 years में one hour in a day is an adequate screen time. Having said that, कई बार 1 से थोड़ा ज़्यादा ही हो जाता है, but try to limit as much as possible. This includes the schooling में जो भी use किया जाता है ना. Beyond 5 years, obviously we need to curtail the screen time to an extent that new educational values के लिए बच्चे use कर सकते हैं. But definitely yes, screen time is something which I always tell the parents to be very careful and try not to expose the child to screens. Now how do parents deal with it? The thing is, if parents do not use the screens at home, the children also will not use it.
Yes.
So बच्चे तो बड़ों से सीखते हैं, right. तो अंदर ऐसा होता है कि parents are always on the mobile and you expect the child not to watch the mobile. That is something which is not possible. So I always tell, if whatever your work is you do at workplace, once you're at home, keep all your screens aside. Especially during the meal time and all, I have seen kids watching the mobile and sitting. अब होटल पे जाओ, रेस्टोरेंट में जाओ, ऐसे ही देखते हैं कि करते रहते हैं. But that is something which the parents have to be a role model and teach the children.
Right sir. Some many times sir parents भी दे देते हैं बच्चों को कि so they can
शांति से रह सकें.
busy, हाँ वो थोड़ा busy रहे उसमें, तो this is not a right habit.
That is not a right habit at all. Yes.
Okay. The next question from audience is, what are some common misconceptions about child nutrition, and how can parents be better informed to make healthier choices?
So about about nutrition, there are a lot of misconceptions. Like parents think that if a child is overweight, like अभी तो there was a time when the undernutrition was a problem. Now the overnutrition is a problem.
Yes.
There are kids who are excess weight for their age. They are quite overweight. Many of them are obese, and it is, as pediatricians, we are finding it difficult to deal with such kids and such parents, and we are hardly coming across children who are undernourished. Now, having said that, when we talk about these things to the parents, they feel that the बच्चे को खाना कम करना है. So the concept of dieting or providing a reduced diet for the child, वो शुरू हो जाता है parents के mind में. They try to stop the child from eating foods. Junk food तो अलग बात है, but apart from that also. So I tell them, do not. Those are the misconceptions which parents have, that do not try to stop the child from taking food. You need to increase the activity of the child. And there are a lot of aspects that fruits and vegetables, obviously we need to give. Nutritious foods में they think that the cultural foods which are available at home, those are not considered as good food which parents can offer to the child, which is a wrong concept. उनको लगता है कि जो processed food है, I don't want to take any names of any companies, but जो processed foods जो होते हैं, तो वो सारे foods जो होते हैं उनको लगता है कि those are the ones which actually can give more nutrition for the child, which is actually not true.
Okay.
We are living in a country where our culture is so rich, and from years together we have been having such good foods that are provided as a cultural practice. So I always tell the parents, especially after weaning, जैसे 6 महीने के बाद जब हम weaning start करते हैं, parents को हम not only me, most of the pediatricians, we always tell them to start with home based foods, and rather than going into other processed food. Processed food is very easy to prepare.
Yes,
that is the advantage. जैसे working parents होते हैं, time नहीं होता है, तो आप जल्दी से उसको बना के आप खिला दो. But they have added sugars, they have added items which are not beneficial, not healthy for the child. So ऐसे situations में it's always not advisable to it. Processed food you can carry while traveling, it can be useful.
Okay.
Emergency time में आप use कर सकते हो, लेकिन always focus on making good food at home and not using any artificial food. Time लगता है, मेहनत लगता है खाना बनाने में.
Right, sir.
But this is only till the age of 1 year when children actually need to get prepared food. उसके बाद से तो family pot से जो भी हम लोग बनाते हैं वही बच्चों को खिला सकते हो. तो 1 साल तक थोड़ा सा मेहनत तो लगता ही है.
Right, sir. तब थोड़ा सा बच्चों का बेस भी बन जाता है कि ठीक है आप इस तरह के आप खाना शुरू करिए.
मेरे घर में यही बनता है, तो they also prepare themselves that this is a good nutritious food and this is what I am supposed to have.
Okay. Okay, sir. Move to next question. How can parents handle peer pressure and societal influences that may encourage unhealthy eating habits in their children?
Very difficult aspect. Peer pressure को तो handle करना,
right, sir.
As adults it is difficult. For us, for child it is even more a difficult thing.
True.
So peer pressure has two aspects which I would like to bring upon. एक तो हो गया toddler और preschool के age group में, दूसरा हो गया adolescents के age group. So I am not going to talk about adolescent because it is a different subject altogether.
Yes.
Especially in in preschool children or in the children who are in the toddler age group. So these children needs to be spoken. You have to talk to your kids. You have to communicate to your kids. You have to try to always create a sense of individuality in your child. उनको ये कहना ज़रूरी है कि देखो आप आपके फ्रेंड्स की तरह नहीं हो. Because I get lot of parents who come and say that why can't I have a junk food? My friend is taking a junk food. He's always bringing a junk food at home. But you need to tell him or her that you are different from that person.
Right.
You are having a nutritious food, and junk food obviously is not good for your health, and so you are a better position than the other person.
Right.
And you should always encourage the child to be a role model in this aspect, in the sense that you should always tell the kid that, see, you are a role model of a nutritious diet, a child who takes nutritious diet. And when such a thing happens, it can always be helpful by rewarding the child.
Yes.
आपने आज ठीक है आपको जंक फूड लेके जाना था, but you preferred a nutritious food, so you are getting this reward.
Okay.
So that way you can always get over the peer pressure. Having said that, it is difficult to handle, but I also tell the parents, do not be too strict with your child. आप जितना उसको मना करते रहोगे, हो सकता है कि एक टाइम बाद then he or she will stop listening to you. But so there should be a balance that should be kept between these two things. Sometimes you should allow the child to do like what their peer do. But also, while you are allowing him or her to do it, you should also tell them that देखो ये चीज़ में इससे problems है, ये चीज़ में advantages है. So you decide what is best for you.
Right.
Your health can get bad if you go into this diet plan. Your health can get better if you go into this diet plan. It's your diet, you can choose. And this same thing the child will only understand this if you practice this at home. फिर घर के अंदर अगर आप जंक फूड ही खाते रहोगे, एज फैमिली ऑल्सो यू प्रेफर हैविंग जंक फूड, देन यू कैन नॉट टेल द चाइल्ड डू नॉट टेक इट.
राइट सर.
सो आप अगर घर के अंदर एक फैमिली का डिसिप्लिन बनाओगे, देखो यही हमारा खाना है, हम लोग यही खाते हैं, इसी में से हम चॉइस करके खाते हैं, इसमें आप वैरायटी कर सकते हो जैसे आपको ठीक लगे, बट वी डू नॉट गो बियॉन्ड दिस थिंग. द चाइल्ड ऑल्सो विल अंडरस्टैंड एंड मोस्ट चिल्ड्रन डू अंडरस्टैnd.
Yes, sir. Yes. But it's a very big task, sir,
yes, it is
for parents.
For parents, it's a very big task.
Yes,
I agree that.
Okay. One parent has asked this question, sir. Are there particular nutrients or food groups that are often overlooked in a child's diet, and how can parents ensure a well-rounded in nutrition intake?
So I think that the answer most of the parents will know for this question, because it is we all know that fruits, vegetables increase water in the diet, and whole cereals, lean proteins हो गए. So all these things are adequate. There are a lot of multivitamins and deficiencies which are creeping up nowadays because of the kind of foods that we are giving our children.
Yes, sir.
So we should always try to mix and match these things. A child's diet should include all of these things which I have mentioned in moderation. So they can entire day's feed plan should also contain fruits, should also contain some amount of vegetables. Try to make it more interesting, as I mentioned, so that child can also want to eat little bit of vegetables. Proteins, कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स जो भी हो गए, सारे सीरियल्स हो गए, ये सारी चीज़ें एक मॉडरेशन में देना है. बट try not to focus on one particular aspect of the nutrition. The problem what happens is जब पेरेंट्स जो हमेशा प्रोटीन्स पे फोकस करते रहते हैं, दाल ही देना है, चने ही देना है, छोले ही देना है, सो जब ऐसे करते रहते हैं तो बाकी चीज़ें डिफिशिएंट हो जाता है बच्चे में. Now the other aspect which I want to reinforce here is the intake of water. Most children do not take adequate amount of water.
Yes,
most adults do not take adequate amount of water. बच्चों को तो छोड़ ही दीजिए. तो but it's important that the parents always reinforce that पानी पिए बच्चा. एंड कई बार जब मैं पूछता हूँ पेरेंट्स को, बोलते हैं हाँ ये अच्छी तरह पानी पीता है बच्चा, लेकिन हमें एग्जैक्टली पता नहीं होता कितना बच्चे कितना पीते हैं. एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दिस देयर इज लॉट ऑफ कॉन्स्टिपेशन दैट इज सीन नाउअडेज, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट द डाइट ऑल्सो गेट्स अफेक्टेड. सो आई ऑलवेज टेल द पेरेंट्स, वेन एवर यू आर टेकिंग केयर ऑफ द चाइल्ड, यू हैव टू कीप अ बॉटल विच इज सेपरेटली फॉर द चाइल्ड.
राइट.
एंड पूरे दिन में देखना है कि बच्चा उस बॉटल में कितना पानी पिया. सो यू विल नो. Then eventually the parents come back and say, ये तो पीता ही नहीं है. We think that he drinks, but he doesn't drink at all, because that is what the assumptions which parents have, that needs to be corrected.
Okay. Sir, it's how do cultural influences impact children's eating habits, and what can parents do to integrate cultural foods while maintaining a healthy diet?
So I partly answered this question, I think, in the last answer which I gave. But
right.
So Indian culture is something which we should all be proud about, and the kind of foods that we have been carrying on from our childhood days. So there is nothing that can beat the nutritious value the great benefits, health benefits that these foods can provide. So this cultural practice can only a child can understand if you have continuously practiced this inside your family. So most of the families are nuclear families.
Yes, sir.
There is कई सारे joint families भी हैं. Joint family इतना problem होता नहीं है. Nuclear families में mainly ये सारे problems होते हैं. But having said that, one of the parents have to be strict as far as this is concerned. Food में कई discipline होना चाहिए. And get the child to make the child understand that this food which we have at home are extremely nutritious. They are most beneficial. And when you are sitting together you have to always try to sit together with the child and have the food together. I always tell the parents also, साथ में बैठ के खाएंगे, mobiles, TV सब off रहेगा उस time में, and focus on the food. Child should be allowed to eat the way he or she wants from his or her own plate, and that has to be habit that has to be inculcated from very young. जब से बच्चा अपना बैठने लगेगा तब से हमें बिठा के खिलाने का कोशिश करना चाहिए.
बिल्कुल सर.
एंड थोड़ा मेसी हो जाएगा, doesn't matter, let the child learn like that. So when such things happen, the child starts enjoying his or her meal, then all these cultural foods can be introduced without any difficulty. When child is not enjoying the meal, that is when all this junk food becomes more attractive for the child. So there is no harm. I mean, it's always useful that we mix all these cultural foods, and any other food which you want to add, that has to be done in a moderation.
Okay. Next question is, do you have anything to say about vitamin D supplements? Should they be given to all children?
Vitamin D has has shown that the deficiencies have been excessively studied. For a few years now, the children have been detected to have significant amount of vitamin D deficiencies. So कई सारे जब studies करने लगे हैं, then they have realized that the parents of the children are also equally vitamin D deficient, especially mothers. So this all comes from the fact that our lifestyle has changed.
Yes sir, totally.
We have become totally interiors.
Yes.
Outdoors में जाते ही नहीं है. So we and our children, AC रूम्स होता है या कवर्ड रूम्स होता है, वहाँ से हम लोग कार में एंटर करते हैं, या बस में. अभी बस, आजकल स्कूल बस भी AC हो गए.
राइट सर.
तो वहाँ से
इवन मैंने देखा है सर कि स्कूल्स वगैरह में भी अगर कोई जाता है, लाइक अपने बच्चे का एडमिशन कराने, उनका फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन होता है AC है कि नहीं.
तो स्कूल बस से स्कूल में जब जाते हैं, वो भी AC वाला रूम्स होते हैं. तो दे डू नॉट गेट एक्सपोज टू सन एट ऑल. सो द चिल्ड्रन हैव बीन found to be significantly vitamin D deficient, and vitamin D is a very important nutrient in a child, जिसके वजह से बच्चे में ग्रोथ काफ़ी इफेक्ट होता है अगर deficient हो.
Definitely sir.
ग्रोथ हो गया, and even there are lot of other factors also, bone development हो गए, height की development हो गई, general growth की बात करो तो it is significantly reduced and affected. So the recommendations have been very clear that the vitamin D supplementation has to be given for every child. प्रीटर्म हो, प्रीटर्म का मतलब है कि पहला बच्चे पहले से टाइम से पहले पैदा हो गए, मैंने 35 प्रीमेच्योर बेबीज की बात कर रहा हूँ. तो दीज बेबीज और मेच्योर बेबीज हो, all have to be started on vitamin D supplementations. उसका डोज अलग होता है, कई बार 400 यूनिट्स रिक्वायरमेंट होता है, उतना देना पड़ता है, एंड इट हैज़ टू बी गिवन at least till 1 year of age.
Okay.
It is expected or it is assumed that after 1 year, when child starts walking, child can go out into the and have a significant amount of sun exposure, so vitamin D can get better. But till 1 year of age, it is recommended that all children are supplemented with vitamin D supplements. After that also requirement can be, आपने pediatrician हो गया या आपका family doctor हो गए, जैसे वो advice करते उसके हिसाब से लेना पड़ता है. But eventually, even for adolescent age group also, vitamin D supplements are required nowadays because of the deficiencies which is happening. आजकल तो धूप निकलता ही नहीं है for significant amount of the year. So children or adults for that matter never go out and get exposed to sun. So vitamin D is invariably deficient. So it is recommended to be given.
Okay, sir. Any takeaway message, sir?
So takeaway message is simple. We have to, as parents, there is a lot of responsibility in each one of us, and the nutrition of our child is our responsibility as parents. Children only learn from the parents or all the adults who are at home. So you have to inculcate right habits at home, only then children will be able to follow you. जिसमें मोबाइल्स हो गए, टीवी हो गया, स्क्रीन टाइम हो गया. So try not to use any such gadgets at home. Try to be a role model for your child as far as avoiding excessive screen time is concerned, as far as having a healthy nutritious diet is concerned. Then only child will be able to learn from you and become a better individual as far as the nutrition is concerned. So now at home, a discipline has to be maintained, has to be created, and one has to stick with that aspect of discipline. Only then children will know what is right and what is wrong.
Thank you so much, sir,
Thank
for
you.
being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, audience, for watching Dr. Dad Talk Show. I hope you got your answers. If you have any further question, please do touch with us. And thank you so much. Keep watching Dr. Dad Talk Show.